Greetings of the day. It's your friend Sanya, and welcome to Learnings of Life of an 18-year-old. This episode is so important to me because in this episode, I'm going to answer all the questions you guys asked me. And most importantly, this episode is not at all scripted. Well, before starting this interesting episode, my heartfelt thanks to all those who have taken out their valuable time to put forward those intricately thoughtful questions for me. If any of your questions gets missed, I will surely try to cover them in my upcoming episodes. I promise to do justice to your questions. However, all my answers will be solely based on my opinion. My apologies in advance if it does not match your opinion, because people are bound to have different opinions. And I think that's what should make my bond with you guys stronger. To the episode, all your questions answered. The first question is from one of my dearest friends. Don't worry, I won't read out the names as promised. The question is, Sanya, is it okay to have multiple personalities? Well, let's start this with an example. Consider you having two friends. One who has always helped you in need and you can easily confide in that friend of yours. On the other hand, you have another friend who is not so close to you and who has never harmed you directly, but just not your type. Will you behave the same around each of them? Well, keeping casual greetings aside. Will you? Think. No, right? Exactly. I would have done the same. I personally don't like allowing too many people to know the real me because I feel that I'm precious and not everyone can understand precious stones. So, why give them the opportunity to understand me wrongly or to misunderstand? Well, to sum it up all, gone are those days where having multiple personalities would be called being fake. I think in today's date, having multiple personalities have become a necessity. I hope that answered your question. The second question is from another friend of mine. His question is, Sanya, how do you take out time for yourself and how do we take out time for ourselves? Well, speaking about all these things in general, I feel that taking out time for yourself should be one of the most prioritized tasks of your day. And it should focus on both your physical and mental well being. It purely depends upon whether you're a morning bird or a night owl. Like, if you feel like waking up early, I think there is no better time to think about yourself and making it your first task in the morning. Whereas, if you're a night owl, then I think make it the last task before you go asleep. I also feel that taking out time does not always require taking some time out literally. You might just think on your career or be grateful to God through prayers while doing shower. Or maybe doing some physical exercise while cleaning your home. Or it may be walking few miles extra while getting groceries for yourself. I think you should take out time for yourself while you are in your busy schedule and not by going against your schedule. And I think this is one of the most sustainable methods to do so. I hope that answered your question. The third question is from another very close friend of mine who asked me, Sanya, how to control anger. Okay. Now, I genuinely feel that anger is something that burns the person who is bearing it, and along with that, it hurts the person who is bearing with it. Okay. Now, that's again a very strong statement. Today, I will tell you some safety measures for both of these kind of people. Okay, first, let's talk about the one who bears the anger, rather the one who shows anger. Okay. Now, for some people, anger comes very often, and for some, it's a consequence of suppressing anger over time. So, when anger comes to you, just try breathing. I know it hardly makes any sense, and right now you might just be laughing at me, Kisanya. What are you just saying? But believe me, it helps. Okay, it actually helps. Close your eyes, breathe, and then slowly open your eyes and look around yourself. As in, which people are you surrounded with now? Again, that makes a lot of difference. You may have felt the need to say someone something very rude, but just because you're now aware of the people you're surrounded with, you control. Okay? Another case is if you just have the other person around and you want to shout at it, uh, you think of all the times the person has made you smile. Okay? Calm yourself down and then discuss what hurt you in a calm voice. Right? See, you nailed it. Now for the one who bears with someone's anger. I know it's very, very traumatizing to see and hear someone scream at you, even though you have done so much for the person, even though you didn't do anything this time, and still the person is venting out his frustration on you. Right? You got it. You actually didn't do anything. You didn't make him angry. Or even if you did, he smiled one day because of you. Remember, it's very easy to make someone angry, but not at all easy to make someone smile. Take that as an advantage. That you, if you were capable of making that person smile before, you can make that person smile again now, no matter how much angry he is. See, you nail it too. Well, everything is a game of psychology. The next question is from one of my very sincere friends who asked me how to remember things for a long time, especially studies. Okay. Well, I don't think I will be the right person to talk about this because I am not the state topper or the national topper. Okay. But keeping jokes aside, I feel that the law out of sight, out of mind is very, very effective here. If you let your studies go out of sight, they will definitely be out of your mind. So keep revising in intervals. Again, there are different ways of revision. You may do daily revision, which is revising every night what you read, or if you're a night owl, revising it the next morning. You may also go for some weekly revisions, which is every Saturday revision, or some monthly revision. I know it sounds so hard and so tiresome, but believe me, it works like magic. The next question is Sanya, you are such a bright student. Then why did you go for the post of head girl when you knew it would hamper your studies? Well, before answering this question has been asked by one of my very childhood friends who knew me and who knows me like from the very, very beginning. I mean, when I was 3 years old, this guy knew me and has helped me in numerous ways. So, answering to his question, why did I go for the post of head girl? Okay, well, for those of you who have listened to the episode, everything is pre planned. You know that I worked really hard to get to the post of the cultural secretary and probably worked even harder to get to the post of the vice head girl. Now, keeping all the hard times in mind that I went through to get to such a position, I wanted to be the head girl when I was getting an opportunity. Why? Of course, to gift it to myself as a reward at the end of everything. Now, coming to my studies getting hampered, yes, of course. Till class 10th, it was not impacting me much as I would eventually cover up. But I think since class 11, I took the science stream. It was very, very difficult for me. However, I decided to stick on to my decision, even if this did not give me good academic results at the end of the year. I was fine with it. Yeah. I mean, listening so many things from so many people, I was fine with it because this was something I did for myself. In short, my heart was craving for something, very different, something big, something that resonates with my soul, and I think hence the decision. The next question is again from my one of my childhood friends. In the last episode, Sanya, you stressed on dreaming, but we have myriads of people committing suicide just because their dreams don't seem to materialize. And what about those who have already achieved their dream place in life? They have nothing else to pursue now. Okay. Uh, First of all, Thank you, my dear friend, for throwing such a complicated question to me. I feel like an 80-year-old imparting my wisdom. Never mind. Okay, answering to this question, dreams, right? I feel the dreams are not always static. If you have only one static dream, then you actually don't have anything to live your life with. On the other hand, if you have a static dream, along with other dynamic dreams, it will help you to live happily, right? For example, consider my static dream being a fashion designer, and somehow I achieve it. Then what? Then what? This will no longer give me happiness. Dreams should be a lot more than your goals. Rather, your goals are just a tiny part of your dream. Understand it. When your dream includes getting things to your family with your own money, giving it to charity, helping people improve their lifestyle and health, making people happy, along with your goals, I think that is what a dream. And I think one will never get bored of such a dream. I hope that answered your question. The next question is from one of my juniors. Sanyadi, what are your views on teenage anxiety? Okay. Again, I don't know how much capable I am to answer this, but I'll just try to share what I feel about it. According to me, there are a lot of pressures that create anxiety in our mind. If you guys think that I'm telling this just by doing research, you're getting me wrong. Because I have experienced every type of pressure that I'm talking to you about today. And indeed, that created anxiety in my mind. So I think I have a bit credential of talking to you about this. So there are a lot of pressures that create anxiety, right? One is the career pressure from friends and family. One is the perfect figure pressure, as I call it. One is others' success pressure, and the other is heart pressure. Now, starting with the career pressure from friends and family. I feel the name itself suggests you that this is the pressure that most likely hits someone at the age of 17 or 18, or maybe to some in the age of 19, where we go for higher studies or the other professional courses only for the sake of earning money and not for the sake of learning new things. Okay? Now that creates a lot of anxiety in your mind. Like, what do I do? What do I not do? How can I tell my parents? Am I just living my life in nothing? And all of these things in your mind. Okay? Not elaborating much on it, the next, of course, is the perfect figure pressure, which is something that we ourselves are responsible for. You know, only you can make yourself feel low about your body. Just understand that. Believe me, I have experience when I talk about this. When I was fat, people used to tell me, Sanya, I guess you need to go to some dietitian or to do some workout. Just look at your legs; they are so chubby. And when I lost quite a lot of weight because of a lot of reasons, it's the same people who said, Sanya, please eat properly. You look so malnutritioned. We are tensed about you. Go see a doctor, etc. What I did was I let people take the decision for my body, which was totally wrong. The next pressure is, of course, others' success pressure. When you are not performing well while others are, no matter how close that person is to you, you feel inferior. You feel you're not worth it. You feel that you are not doing anything in your life. But the truth is, everyone achieves success in his or her life. And you too will, but in your own terms and at your own pace. So don't be bothered of others' success. Please. Last but not the least, the heart pressure. Well, it's not the blood pressure that you talk about, but the pressure that we give to our hearts regarding love. Everyone might be smiling right now that Sanya is talking about love. Well, now love does not always mean loving a girl or a boy. Loving can be related to friends' love, sisterly, brotherly love, teacher student love, and in all these cases, we may get let down by someone. And I do understand that it's not easy to move on. But my mom always says that one should never stop in his or her life. And you'll always end up getting someone who deserves your love more, right? So just keep moving. So don't let others and all these pressures create an anxiety in your mind. I won't be able to talk more on this today because of time constraints. I wish I could. But in case you want another episode only on this, let me know through replies. The next question, again from one of my childhood friends, is Sanya, what was your biggest fear and how did you overcome that? Well, my biggest fear was the fear of failure. Yes, you heard me right. I was very, very afraid to fail in my life. And yes, that fear did come knocking on my door last year. And it actually took a lot of strength and, of course, a lot of time to overcome it. As I've already answered before, that I took the decision for being the head girl, even though I chose science as a stream. Now, I'm not saying that both could never be managed together. No, I'm not saying that. I saw some of my friends who were equally involved in the leadership role as well as managing their academics quite nicely. However, I couldn't do so. And I don't think it's a shame to accept it, right? Of course, the marks which I got last year and also which I got this year, it can't be declared as a failure, but it was actually not meant for the topper of a school, right? But that failure changed me forever. I got to know who loves me and not my marks. I got to know who cares for me and not my reputation. I got to know who wanted me as a friend and not a topper. Of course, it was not easy to accept all this, but I think time heals it all. The next question is very special. It's from one of my closest brothers, and I'm so happy he asked me this question finally. His question to me is, Sanya, who do you think did the best? The guy who constantly is suffering to achieve the goals, where he loses his mental health, or the one who tried to give the best but kept her mental health at priority by enjoying every moment of life and letting go of things which weren't meant for him? Well, of course, the later one. I genuinely feel through my experience in life that your job and even your academics are not the only thing in the world. Of course, they are very important and perhaps one of the most important things of your life. But believe me, not at the cost of your physical and mental health. I have seen people, they would sacrifice everything for their company, like eating lunch at 5 p.m. in the evening, working from 11 o'clock in the morning to 3 a.m. at night, without talking to their family, without doing anything else. I mean, is this life? Is this what you call life? Life is not only about this. You have to experience everything in your life. You need to prioritize your health, your happiness above all. Because only if you do so, you will be happily working. Or else you will eventually lose focus in your work and end up making your day even worse. Next question is, are achievements and happiness related to each other? Well, it's again related to mindsets and the reason you want yourself to be happy. Of course, happiness is somewhat related to achievements. It is. But when you achieve something happy in your life, you become happy. You feel like sharing your happiness with everyone. But achievements are not the only thing that should give you happiness. Happiness can come from so many other things, and not everyone can get happiness from achievement. You should be the one to decide what makes you happy. As a math student, I feel achievements are nothing but a subset of happiness. The last question for this episode is, what inspires you to post such episodes, Sanya? Now, my inspiration is nothing but the reason why I started this podcast in the first place. I started this podcast to share my learnings of life, as I always say, to make sure that the people who are also going through similar situations feel empowered and find strength within themselves. If I would have started this podcast just because I wanted more plays, more followers, more fame, then I would have not thought of posting this episode right after my last episode became a flop. Yep, you heard me right. My last episode has the lowest number of plays among all the episodes I've ever posted. And believe me, it's so less that for once I would have felt, what's the point of doing more episodes and see all my efforts doing recordings amidst so much traveling and exams go into total vain? But I think that's not how I reacted. I told to myself that I will stop posting only when I see that I have zero plays in my episode. And believe me, I know that would never happen because I will be the first play that my podcast ever needs to continue itself. Again, it's all about mindsets. When you work for showing others, no matter how much success you gain, you would still be unhappy. But if you work for your own happiness, you will never be disheartened. That's it for today. I hope you all liked my answers. In case you want to add anything else to it, or you want to share your views on any of those questions, don't hesitate to either mail me at sanyasimplifies@gmail.com or directly drop a reply to this episode. Meet you guys in the next episode of Learnings of Life of an 18-year-old.